Okay, prime example. I do know that there was one year for the anniversary. They asked what my mother would want in a basket. And I said my mother wouldn't want a basket. She wouldn't want a basket. I know
Right.
my mom, she wouldn't want a basket. Because at the end of the day, it's what you put in the basket. It'd be different if things of value were put into the
Yeah.
basket. But these are things from like Trade Day or
The dollar store. Yeah.
Dollar Tree.
Hey, I'm ready to have church. Glory to God. I'm ready to have church.
Living my life as a PK, 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 PK.
I'm ready
Living
to
my
have
life
church.
as a
Hey.
PK, 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 PK. Yo, what is up, you guys? It's your girl Ebbs the PK, and welcome to the very first episode of the PK Lounge. I'm very excited to have you guys here. Thank you for watching, listening, whatever you're doing. Let's get on into this thing. Today I have a very special guest. She finna hate me for this, but it's okay. Future First Lady, Melcie Guyton.
Really?
Yes, ma'am. Future First
I don't
Lady. Yeah,
accept.
you have to accept.
No,
You
ma'am.
have to accept the call on your life.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
It's
Mm,
all out of love. It's all out of love. Anyway,
yes,
sis,
of
how have you
course.
been? Cause I ain't seen you in a minute.
I've been great. It's definitely been a while. I've been great. I cannot complain at all. I've
Oh
been great.
man, what's new? What's
Been
popping?
good.
What's going on?
Well, for me, I just moved to Birmingham 2 months ago. And actually, this is new news, current. Friday was my last day at my job that I've been at for 5 years, and I'll be starting a new job on Monday.
Say what now?
Thank you, Lord, for that.
Oh,
Yes, trust
trust
God.
God, trust
Trust
God.
God. Trust God.
I am weak.
Because 2020 was rough, and I
Yeah,
knew in order for things to get better, I had to, you
switch it
know,
up,
drop the job and get
switch it
another
up.
one.
I feel you
Mhm.
on that. Ain't
Had
nothing
to.
wrong with that new new.
Yes.
That new new.
It's not. It's not. I'm excited though. I
Well, I'm
really am.
excited for you,
Well,
sis.
thank you.
So let's get into this. Before we get into the meat of everything, I got a little game of.
I'm trying to move on.
So, would you rather be an usher or on the kitchen committee?
Oh man. I think I wait. I think I would rather be. I don't know. That's good. I would like to be both, to be honest. Cause you know ushers, they be mean to people sometimes, and then you really don't have to
True. So
have
you have
an
to have a good
excuse. You really don't have
spirit.
to have an excuse to be mean sometimes. Like you just be mean and just
Hmm.
I don't know. But then again, I think I'd rather be in the kitchen because I like to eat.
Taking the food, boxing up plate.
Baby, listen,
When the
box it up.
second church ain't even ate. Yeah,
If a
you
scoop of
one of
macaroni is
them.
gone, I'm sorry. I was hungry. My blood sugar probably
That's
was
okay.
dropping.
Oh wow, I cannot.
Okay, let's see. Would you rather be the pastor of a church or the director of a funeral home?
That worked over funeral home.
Really?
I
You gonna deal with dead bodies?
the director. is the director, so
No,
they may
they
not
still
be
deal
all
with
the way
dead
hands
bodies.
on.
They
I
no.
understand,
Mm-mm, you got to get
but
in there and touch. See,
I don't want to be a pastor of a church. I
I
wouldn't want to
feel
deal.
that's too much.
Mm-mm. At least with a director, I feel like I'm helping someone, like actually helping someone. Not to say being a pastor isn't, but it's just more stuff you got to deal with. And
Right.
mm-mm. It's a now for
Okay.
me. Mm-mm.
All right. Well, since we not dealing with church folk, on that note, let's get into the meat. Let's get into the meat of this conversation. So, kind of give us a little background about like how you grew up in church. Were you always a PK, or did like your dad become a pastor after you were born, or what? Like what happened with that?
Okay, so when I was born, my dad was already a minister. At this point, he wasn't at a church; he was just a minister at this time. And I would say from the time I was born till I was 4, we were at UCC, United Christian Church. And from there, I know we left there and we went back to my dad's home church, a Baptist church.
Mm-hmm.
And I really do think the main reason, as far as I knew, is because the pastor there was getting older and he was getting sick. So my dad went back and he was preaching there for a while. And I would say probably about 7 or 8, probably 8, I think, is when he became an official pastor at
Yeah.
a church, Mount Zion Baptist Church in Aniana, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
And that was definitely an experience.
Right.
Just seeing him in the early years, handling certain things in the early years, and then me being a child, I don't really know everything that's going on. You just being a child. So,
You just
uh,
there.
yes, I'm just there. He was there for like 8 years. And then from there, he's at another Mount Zion, just in a different city, Turkeytown, Alabama. And he's been there maybe 12, probably 13 years this year, I think. Um, so yeah, that's probably the timeline. So I think he probably preached his first sermon maybe in 1988, I believe.
Wow.
So he's been
For a
preaching
long time.
since, yeah, for a long,
For a
long
long
time.
time. So
Yes,
he seasoned.
yes,
He well seasoned.
very much
Okay.
so. He is.
Well, since we talked about PKs, I know a lot of us are pretty much thrown into the spotlight. Like we have no say so, we have no input and into any of that. And so I was gonna ask you, like, what is it like for you, or what was it like for you growing up in the spotlight?
I would definitely say, growing up and with people, especially in the city, knowing who your father is and your parents are, your family, especially with your father, I feel like with PKs anyway, people kind of stereotype you into two groups, or either you're the goody two who does nothing, that's perfect, spotless, can't do anything,
Right.
or you're the worst. You're on the other side of the spectrum where they expect you to do everything horrible. They just don't expect much from you because maybe you've already messed up or something has happened. So they just label you officially in
Right.
this pile. I was on the other end of the spectrum, the
Mm-hmm.
goody too. So, you know, I've always been respectful, I would say, but as I've gotten older, the goody two has definitely left. Meaning I still have my same values, standards, morals, all of that, respectful, all of that, but I'm not just gonna not say something just because my
Your
father
dad
is the
is the
pastor.
pastor,
You know what I'm
right?
saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not I will be respectful and I will be cordial and I will always respect my elders, but there just comes a time and place where,
Right.
I just won't be quiet.
Yeah, there's a line. There's a
You
thin
know,
line.
yeah,
Like as we get
very
older, it's
thin.
like as we get older, we're just like, all right, I was a kid. I didn't know nothing back then. I'm
Exactly.
pretty much grown. I know a lot of stuff
Yes.
now. Like y'all not finna sit here and just be doing anything
Mm-hmm.
and everything.
Exactly.
Like I'm not
Exactly.
finna sit back and watch that. It's just not gonna happen.
Mm-mm. I can't do it.
Right. Like,
I
no.
can't.
No, thank you. No, thank you. And, like, with us, we see both sides
Okay.
of church. Like, we see just church, like, Sunday service, Wednesday service, and then we see business
Mm-hmm.
side as well with us, since our daddy is the pastor. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so with that, what's your opinion about the church in general? Like, when you were little versus now.
With especially being young and growing up, I would definitely say church is all we knew because that's what we were majority of the time.
Right.
Um, so it becomes your life and you think everything's so great. The people love your father, they love us, this is just awesome, all the love. And all it takes is for something to happen, for someone to not be happy about a decision that was made or something. That's all it takes for everything to go left. So I would definitely say as I got older and I saw certain things happening, as far as things being said, the way people would maneuver, I would definitely say that kind of changed my outlook on how I looked at things. Because when you first get to a church, the people love you. They
Right.
do everything. Don't the first anniversary, oh, everyone's coming out of everywhere with all the love gifts. Everybody loves it. They love it. But then let a few years go by, some things have happened. It gets scarce.
Yeah.
And the people just start to do what they want to do for you. Okay, prime example. I do know that there was one year for the anniversary. They asked what my mother would want in a basket, and I said my mother wouldn't want a basket. She wouldn't want a basket. I know
Right.
my mom. She wouldn't want a basket because at the end of the day, it's what you put in the basket. It'd be different if things of value were put into the
Yeah.
basket, but these are things from like Trade Day or
The dollar store. Yeah.
Dollar Tree, or you know what I'm saying. So if you're gonna get a basket, make sure there's some valuable things in the basket. But it wasn't, and I knew it wasn't. But yet, what did they do? Still get a
Yeah. It's
basket.
like you
So it's
see
like
people's heart after a while.
true. I mean, they will show you their true colors at that point, especially when things happen. So they really don't. They do for you what they want to do for you, not how they value you or how they see you. They just do what they want to do.
Yeah. It's
Simple.
kind of scary. Like, you wouldn't think people in the church wear masks, but they really do. Like, it's
And that was before COVID.
sad to say, but yeah. Those were invisible masks. Now we got these, everybody
Yes.
got leopard or black or whatever. But yeah, like
Yes.
it blows my mind how people just, I don't want to say it, but some of them be fake and it's irritating.
It
Like,
really is.
I don't like fake people. If you gonna be in my face all the time, especially if I'm at church all the time, be real. Just be real, please.
Be
Because I
real.
ain't got time for no
For
fakeness.
real.
Like, you one way in church and then you another way, and you out here talking about me 2 seconds later. Like, we ain't even got fresh out the parking lot of service, and you out here talking about the pastor's child. Oh, did you see such and such and such and such? Worry about your own kids. What are your kids doing? Please, because I have seen other people talk about the pastor child, pastor's grandchild, and they kids going out doing God knows what. And y'all out here wanna, just put us on a pedestal, and we didn't ask for that. We just
Yeah,
here.
I mean, I never asked for it.
Like, we ain't fill out no
Never.
job application. We ain't put no resume in for this. We just here.
Really.
Seriously.
Just here.
It's sad, but yeah, I know like we have somewhat of a similar story when it comes to actually like leaving from under our dad's church and going to a another church
Yes.
while we're still in the same
Mm-hmm.
house as them.
Yes.
And I remember we had a conversation one time. It was when you were
Mm-hmm.
actually thinking about leaving your dad's church, and you kind of like pulled
Yes.
me to the side. I was
Yes.
like, how was that transition for you, and stuff like that. And I was just like,
Yes.
I just felt like I was supposed to be where I was, and
Yeah.
like I just want to know, how was that transition for you, like once you finally brought that conversation up with him.
Yes. So I think that was something I contemplated on for a while. Um, because mainly so it was just so much friction and tension there. Things had already happened to the point where I still have to come in here and see the same people who have talked about my dad, dogged my dad, not valued him, all of this, and you still have to look at them. So I think it got to a point where I would go one place for praise and worship, get a little word, and then by the time I got to my dad's church, I was just hearing him preach, which at that point I felt like, he was still cool. He just wanted to see me out there. And I think it got to a point where I was tired of being in two places. I was like, I just want to be in one place, getting everything I need. And when I went to them and just had that conversation, my mom was supportive. They both were supportive. I know it hurt my dad to a point, like, man, like, maybe he knew it was coming eventually. But then when I actually talked to him about it before it actually happened and he knew it was like real, um, he was just like, oh, okay, okay, I understand. I understand. And he fully supported it. They were very supportive because that's where we had been at one point. So they were totally fine with me being there. They knew I was under, good leadership. I was going to be fed, so they didn't have any concerns there. So they were supportive. And then, just, post that, actually just going about and having to go and do, and we all just being under one place. So I would say they were supportive all the way around. I think it just took me a while to actually do it because I didn't want to hurt him, but at that point it was about me because I needed, it was my journey, not nobody else's. It was for me. So it was just something I had to do for me.
And I think that's important. Like like once we get to a certain age, we gotta start doing stuff for ourselves. Like we can't just
Mm-hmm.
always people please. So you gotta do what you gotta do, even if it means you still live in the same house, but you going to a different church. Like on Sunday morning, you splitting
Oh
ways.
yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
like that was an odd transition for me as well, because it was like I love my dad. Don't get me wrong. Like I love both my parents, but when it comes to being like spiritually fed and stuff like that, I just felt like where I was going needed something else. You know what I'm saying? So I was gonna ask you, did that kind of change y'all's relationship a little bit, or were there any kind of like shift in relationship when you actually left?
Um. Um. wouldn't say it changed our relationship really. If anything, I know it probably made it a little better. Because at that point, I was just able to talk to him about certain things that I had learned, or certain things that I had gotten, and kind of made us be able to talk more about certain things spiritually. Um, but I wouldn't say it was anything negative on our personal relationship or anything. It was definitely, they were supportive. So um, I would just use that to kind of, whatever information I got, just kind of talk to him or him or my mom just to see, what they thought about, such and such, or as far as what I had retained and gotten, just having conversations there about how do they feel about this, or what did you get from that, or just little nuggets, nothing too deep, but yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it changed anything, not
Yeah.
really.
What are like three of your pet peeves of being a PK? Like just anything.
Hmm.
Be real. Be real. Come on. You got to be real with it.
Pet peeves. I would say pet peeve one is once you treat my father a certain way, expecting me to still be in this, how can I say it? So basically, when someone treats you a certain way, especially your parents, or if anyone talks bad about your parents or do anything to your parents, it's going to make you feel a certain type of way.
Yeah.
But don't expect for me to still be in the same space or still see you in the same light when I now know how you really feel.
Right.
So basically, don't think just because I'm little Melcie when I'm whole grown Melcie now.
Right.
Don't think little Melcie just won't say anything, or little Melcie is just gonna. Mm-mm, little Melsie's not here for it anymore. So that's just pet peeve number one. Two, I would say value. I feel like church people don't value who they have. They don't value who the pastor actually is. So value or respect. Let's just say that. I just feel like there's no respect or value in pastors these days. That's a pet peeve because as the family, you see how people treat, your parents
Yeah.
and your father, and how they how they treat them. It's just a reflection of how you really feel about them. That's just how I feel. Three, I would say pet peeve. If you ever have an issue with your pastor, if they have an open door policy, then use it.
Yeah. Use that. Don't.
Don't don't go talk to sister so and so, get on the phone with sister so and so, because all she gonna do is call another so and so from another church, and that's just how stuff
Yeah.
keeps going,
Yeah.
going, and
It's
going. If you have issues with your pastors or anything, and they have an open door policy, it is your fault if you don't use it. Because if you have any issues that need to be expressed, then express them.
right.
that's that's just that's just how it is for me.
Yeah. And
It
that's how
really
stuff
is.
spread, especially when you're in a small city like we.
Exactly. When I tell you, I've heard all type of things about my father. The one that got me was he had an outside child that was younger than me. Right, right. But get this, it was all from the woman that people would see him walking with because he would walk in the city. So do you actually think that my dad is going to be openly cheating, walking with someone in the city,
Right.
and he has a child by him? I mean, by them, by her.
That's,
I mean, but do you honestly think
no,
that? I mean, but people saw that, and when I tell you they ran with it, honey,
of course they
ran
gonna
with
run
it,
with it. Let me tell you
ran.
something.
And my thing is, my father would just, take him go get a haircut or spend some time with him or something. If there's a young boy that just needs some guidance or assistance, or just have a male figure in his life, why wouldn't my father assist? That's how you show love. That's how you assist. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if it was ever anything on some cheating, why do you think he would be out in the city with some woman walking every day as if my mom didn't know? I'm just really trying to figure it out. But best believe they got that nugget and they
Oh,
ran with it.
yeah.
And it tickles me to today because I don't understand it. But hey,
Listen, these people
yeah,
here, they love you get them a little cracker and they go make a whole meal out of it. They
yeah,
they love it. They love it. I don't understand it. But yeah,
yeah.
so one thing I know you've been
Hmm.
pondering on this because I told you about it earlier. Give us one. Give us one story, wild story, crazy story that you remember fondly about church, being in church.
Oh.
If you got to change some names, that's fine. Just shift some. just
Well,
just
first, let
shift
me
some
just tell
names.
y'all. Let me tell you, I have been in all types of churches. I mean, from the ones in the backwoods, I mean, to the ones where I've had some funny moments in church. I know I have one of suits and boots. So,
Do what?
okay, so there was some like 100 women in white or something, and it don't even be 100. And why they name it that,
It
I
be
don't
20
know.
people in that bitch.
Yes. But it was like 100 women in white program, and one lady showed up, and she wasn't in white. She was in like a red suit
Oh
or a
my
purple suit,
goodness.
and it was real long. The jacket was real long, and the skirt was real long. And then she had on like some snow boots with some fur and some pantyhose.
What in the world?
Oh
Sis came
God.
in there with a Jezebel spirit and winter feet. What?
Oh God. I just whew, it
Or did the boots at
it
least
tickled
match the
me.
red suit? That's a no. That
Now you got to think this is the country,
I
so
understand that, but at least
it was it was not well put
at
together.
least
It
you
was
can
not.
have. They ain't got to be red. They can be like black or something. Like,
It was not well put
oh my
together.
god.
It was just not. It just wasn't. Or the church security with the security shirt with the security on the back of their shirt, and they not securing nothing. It just I from the choirs who
Listen, this is why.
I I
This is
look.
why. Now you know I'm like the biggest goofball ever. This is why I sit in the back of church.
Yes,
Like, I don't.
exactly.
If I come to
My
your
point
church,
exactly.
please do not escort me nowhere near the front because all you gonna see is my head tucked between my legs because I'm trying not to laugh at something. I used to, man, listen, I used to hate being on that side camera at UCC because I could not hold a straight face for nothing, like at all.
Ah,
Like it was this one time. I don't know if you was there or not, but this lady got up and she was trying to tell her testimony, and I don't know if she
tell
had
me.
like a peppermint or something in her mouth or something, and then she was trying to say esophagus, but she said esophagus.
I thought you were gonna tell me the peppermint like shot down her throat or something. I was gonna say, "Oh God,
I wasn't gonna laugh at that,
help!"
but she said she was tripping up on her words because that peppermint was in her mouth, and she kept saying she was like my esophagus.
They anointed my head with oil, My cup's running over. Surely, goodly, and mercy, surely, goodly, and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house.
It was
Some stuff
terrible.
you can't help.
See, this
Very.
is why, yeah, like I said, put me in the back, all the way in the back. If you got a balcony,
I will say this. Uh, not recently, but just within the last few years, just doing praise and worship.
oh,
At
you see
UCC.
everything.
Oh, when I tell you, I think the thing that would get me is to see, because Apostle will have this kind of
He had
like
that little
his
groove.
own little, yeah, but it would be a little offbeat, so you could never really look at him. You could glance, but you can never like focus in
Right.
because you soon gonna be going with him and
Ain't gonna
gonna
be
get
offbeat.
the wrong way. Wrong way. But yes, that was one of the things I enjoyed. Just when you actually doing praise and worship and you scanning the whole
Right.
room and everybody's not rhythm, they
Some
don't
of them
have
are
it. Everybody don't have it.
rhythmically. Dang, I can't even talk. Yeah,
Challenge,
they challenge.
rhythmically
I
challenge.
have
But
no
yeah.
shame in that game. I got half of some rhythm, I guess. I got,
Oh,
I get none rhythm from my daddy, and I get, rhythm from my mama. So it just put that
oh,
together. I'm just challenged all together.
it's okay. It's okay.
It's all right. But yeah, we about to go and shut this thing down. But one last question. This is kind of, I wouldn't say deep, but it kind of is. Just
Mhm.
it's a statement that I want you to finish. Cause some people be like, oh,
Okay.
they PK. Some of them ain't really in church and don't really do God. We
Mhm.
we love God right here, okay? Just letting y'all know. So it's basically I love God because
He first loved me.
you play too.
But did he? I mean, because he first loved me.
Well, we gonna take that
That's
answer
true.
because he did first love.
Right. It's not a wrong. It's valid. It's very valid.
It is. It is. We gonna take that and run with it. But I have enjoyed talking to you on
Yes, I've
tonight.
enjoyed you as well. Always a pleasure.
Listen, this has been an adventure of a conversation.
I'm sure.
But yeah,
I'm sure.
thank you guys so much for watching. If you watching on YouTube, be sure to like, comment, subscribe on YouTube or podcast. Apple Podcast, Spotify, wherever you listening. And I will see you guys next time at the PK Lounge.